Hello everyone. So today is part 2 of the review for Jay Decker. Today we're going to be taking a look at Duke and the fire parts so you can turn him into Fire Jay Decker. So we'll be taking a look at Duke. Originally I wasn't going to build him because I wasn't really concerned about Duke. I really wanted to just concentrate on the fire parts. But since it wasn't really a super intense build, I just put them together real quick. I'd say it took me maybe about an hour or so. So we'll be taking a look at that. We'll be taking a look at some size comparisons from some other kits from the Brave franchise. So we'll do some size comparisons there. I'll take you through the transformation as far as the parts that you'll need in order to create Fire Jay Decker, and then we'll get into some final thoughts. So this is a pretty quick one. I don't think this will take very long, so let's get into it. Okay, so first things up, we're actually just going to take a look at the box real quick. This is beautiful artwork yet again from Kotobukiya. I wish I could get wallpapers of these things. They look spectacular. I kind of went into, in the Jay Decker review, I kind of went into at the very end why this box is all messed up. Amazon in the US. And it cost me roughly almost $70. It was like $67. And they really messed this box up. They tried to crunch it into a bag, and they didn't pack it properly. So unfortunately, but the parts in it were all good, so that was a good thing. But we're just going to take a look at that real quick. So of course that's the front, that is the side. So of course you got Duke here, all right, and then it shows you that you got the parts for Fire Jay Decker there. So that's the side. This is the other side. Okay, just some random some information there. Oh, it does have it in English and in Japanese, so that's good. So I'm glad that they've started to do that. I realize that more than just people in Japan buy this stuff. So that's the top, and that's the bottom. So that's what you've got there. So let's get into Duke real quick. So I'll remove this. And this is going to be really quick. Like I said, originally I wasn't actually looking to make Duke all that much. I didn't really care about it that much. But, he's okay. He's got basic articulation, so you can do some posing with him, so he's got parts at the knees, at the legs. All right, regular arm motion. Now, what you will do is you will need some actual painting. What I did, because I didn't want to get out my airbrush, and to be honest, because everybody in the United States is pretty much in the middle of a blizzard right now, I didn't want to get out my painting stuff, so I kind of just used Gundam markers, and of course that's sacrilege to any painter. Because as you can see here, it just like the flow of paint coming out of those markers is not very good. They're good for touch-ups, for like things like the knees and stuff like that. But for any kind of actual major painting that you're going to do, I would not recommend using Gundam markers unless you're giving it to some kid and you don't want him to use real paint or something like that. But other than that, it's not really worth it. But this was all white, so the shoulder parts was all white. The shoulder parts was all white. Here for the badge or the communicator there, that was all white. So I had to do that. And I just did that really quick. It's not super great, but he's got basic head articulation, so he can go up and down. So it's a cool thing to have. Just, I don't really care about it that much. So that's why I'm not even going to do like a fuel review on him, because it's not even worth it. It's a nice little figure to have. Honestly, this should have probably came with Jay Decker, but I'll get into the reasons why I think that here in a little bit. So, but that's pretty much all that is there. And he can stand. He does not transform or anything, of course. But, that's pretty much what he is. Let's move this camera down here a little bit. So that's pretty much him. And that's about it. So, so let's get into what I really wanted to talk about, which is the transformation for into Fire J Decker. So we will get into that. Okay, so these are all the parts that you're going to need for Fire J Decker. So as you see, it comes with two swords. So you've got the bigger sword. I always call this the Bari sword. So if you want to do that pose, it's got a bigger tip on it. So you've got that one. You've got the regular sword. This is the one that goes inside the sheath, right? And you've got this here. This is the sheath there. So that just goes into the center like that. Bam, there you go. So he's got his holder there. And then it comes with the front skirt here. So you've got the front skirt. All right. And also you've got the feet parts. So what you'll notice with a lot of the Brave super forms is that they almost wear platform shoes. So they've kind of like got a bigger version of their shoes. This is supposed to be the regular foot here. And I started noticing that with Star Saber, to where he kind of has platform boots for Victory Saber. And I've noticed that a lot of the Brave kits do that as well. So that's what this is, but you don't actually have to use the feet that he's got on there because they're too big. So these are a little bit smaller. Okay. So you got those there. All right. Then you've got the head for J Decker. And as you can see, I did do some panel lining. Nothing super spectacular, just a little bit there. So you've got that. And then this is the front chest plate. All right. And then all of this pretty much is solid yellow. This black part is black there, but as far as like the Brave Police in there, and then in the BP area, all of that I had to detail in, as well as like the panel lining on the sides and stuff back there. So you got that from the front. This is the part for the back. If I can get that to focus, there you go. So that's the part that'll go on the back. Okay. And then you've got the hook, which goes on his right arm. And then that does retract there. Okay. So you've got that. And then you've got the drill that goes on his left arm. So you've got that too. And I did all of that. That's just regular panel lining stuff. Anybody that builds Gundams, that pretty much is, regular stuff for any basic model. So these are the parts for J Decker to turn him into Fire J Decker. So let's go through the transformation. Okay, so let's get into putting on the parts to turn him into Fire J Decker. So first things first, we're gonna have to take some things off here. So first, we're gonna let me take him out of this pose here. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna take off the backpack. All right, so he doesn't need that right now. So you can take that off. You can take off the head. Now remember, like I said in the first review, this part comes off pretty easily and I can go flying. So just be careful when you're pulling that off. All right. And as you can see, it just came off. So just be careful when you're messing with this J Decker's head, because that can be a problem. Okay. So we'll put those to the side. And then for the bottom area, so first off, we're going to take off the front side skirt. So let's take that off. It's coming. There we go. So we'll move that over. And then we're going to take off the feet. Now, with the feet, you have to be careful because there's a ball joint in here, and it's pretty tight in his feet. And sometimes it won't come out. So you have to be careful about that. Let's see if I can get it. Let's see. Yeah, and see how that stays in there? So sometimes you kind of got to finagle that out because that's a pretty tight fit in there. Let's see if I can get it out. There we go. All right. And then the same with this side. Let's see. All right, so pull off the old feet. So pretty much he's just bare bones. You're also going to take off the side skirts as well. All right, so pretty much that's what he's going to. That is Jay Decker bare bones. Connect this together. All right, so that's what you got. All right. So, and then honestly, you just start putting pieces on. That's pretty much it. So, let's start with the feet here so we can get them to stand. So, that goes in there. And then, got this here. All right, so there is the feet. Now, also, with the sides, you want to take this part. This part has two holes here and here. So for Jay Decker, you're always using the second hole. For Fire Jay Decker, because he's a little bit taller, you're going to use the first one. So we will put that in there. Just like that. Do the same for this one here. Okay. So, all right. So we got him standing up. There we go. Okay. And then we can go with putting on the, oh, actually, we'll need to take the front part off too. I forgot about that. So we will take this front part off here. All right. So you need, this one needs to come off for Jay Decker as well. I forgot about that one. So, all right. So you're going to take this. So this is the one for Fire Jay Decker. We're going to put that on there, just like that. Now this one seems to not go on very well. So just be careful when putting this on, because I've noticed, at least with mine, that it's a tad bit loose, tad bit on the loose side. So let's see if we can get that in there. All right, there you go. Oops. And then there's supposed to be a slot on the sides where that goes in. All right, so you got it to where it goes out. Okay, so that's the chest piece. All right, and then these are the front skirts. So we will put that in here. And so what that has is this part here. This part here will go into this slot here. So it's gonna go there. I can get that in there properly. All right, so you got that. Now, what you need is, these actually were from the Jay Decker set, and I talked about these in the first review. These are the side skirts for Fire Jay Decker, so you need those. Okay, so put that one on here. And then what that does is, there's actually, hold on, let me pull this off. All right, there's actually two slits on the sides here. I don't know if you can see that, but so that's where these are supposed to go in. So all right, put that leg back in. Yeah, trying to do all this on camera can be a pain sometimes. And as you saw, like, that front part started to fall off, so you have to be very cognizant of that. For me personally, I'd probably always have them in Fire Jay Decker mode. So if you wanted to, I guess you could glue it if you wanted to. But all right, so you got, so those are the side skirts there. Let's put this front skirt back on. All right. I think I got it. All right, so there is the body part there. So, and then on the side, on the arms here, he's got a slot here. So this is actually supposed to come out. So what you want to do is take that wrist part that I talked about in the first review, push that down so you can actually get to that. And then you can pull that out. Just like that. All right, and then you put that back. We'll put, I think it's the drill that goes on the left side. So that drill goes there. Do the same for this side. All right, so take that, pull that out. All right, and then back up. All right, that goes on the side. Okay. And then, of course, last but not least, we're going to put on the head. All right. Boom. All right. So you got that, and then you can take the sheath, and this actually has a mini like ball joint thing that goes on the side. I actually saw it when I put it on there that it's still in there, so you can actually just plug that in there. So that's his little sheath for his sword, and then you put the smaller sword in there like that, and then we're going to put the wings back on. Okay, like that. And boom, there you have him. Fire J. Decker. So, looks pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. Now, he is a tad bit loose, I've noticed, especially with the front breastplate. That thing is kind of loose. It does not like to stay on very well. And even with the front skirts, that one can be a little difficult to keep on. But outside of that, it still has the same regular articulation. So, you know, the two wings in the front, so you can actually bring the arms closer in. You can still do that. And let's see. So he's still got some good movement there. So most of his, he hasn't got any articulation that's been limited by the fact that he's got these extra parts on. So at least not that I've seen. So you can still raise his feet 90 degrees. All right. As you see, that front skirt just popped off again. So, okay. So that's Fire J. Decker. So I guess next we'll get into some size comparisons. Okay, so next what we're going to take a look at, some size comparisons here. So first, I'm going to compare him to some of the other super forms that we have in Brave. And so, of course, the next one would be Great X Kaiser. So as you can see, now granted, Great X Kaiser is bent over a little bit because he's in his Obari pose, but they're relatively about the same height. I would say actually Great X Kaiser might be a tad bit bigger because he's kind of slouched over there in that pose. So you've got that one there. And then next, we've got the Bandai SMP Super Fire Dagwon. Okay, so relatively the same size. That's what I've got for the super forms. And then, of course, I've got to throw in one of my personal favorites, and that is Firebird. So, as you can see, he will fit in perfectly with those. So, the Brave collection is getting bigger. There are a couple of more kits from Kotobukiya that I probably will be getting. I know they have Great Goldron, and they do have a da-garn, but they're going to be releasing the parts so you can change da-garn into Great da-garn GX. So that should be a good one. So that's what we've got for size comparisons. Now let's go into final thoughts. Okay, so final thoughts on this guy. Would I recommend him to someone? It depends on how much of a J. Decker fan you are. If J. Decker is the design that you love the most, or that you grew up watching that series, then I would say, yeah, go ahead and get him. If you're not a J. Decker fan, if you're not someone, you might like Brave, but you don't necessarily like the Jay Decker design, I would say that this is a skip. As I mentioned in my previous Jay Decker video, I'm not a big fan of this design personally. I think that there's about three series in the Brave line that I thought the designs were kind of uninspired, and that would be da-garn, Jay Decker, and Mike Guine. I just thought that the designs in those shows were pretty simple, and so they're not my favorite designs. I'm getting it more for a completionist thing, but also I just don't believe that there's enough value here to warrant, this kit being $60. I mean, Duke, yeah, he's nice, like he's okay, but to me, he honestly should have been a throw-in with Jay Decker, or if you're going to get Decker, because they have two upgrade kits. This is the first one, or this is the second one with the Duke. We're in the Fire Jay Decker parts. The other one has Deckard with the Max Cannon in it. That's it, and those are $60. To me, this is not $60 worth of stuff. I would say personally, might be closer to $30 or $40, but definitely not 60. There's just not enough value here. So to me, what I would have done is maybe thrown in Deckard with the original Jay Decker kit, and then have the Max Cannon come with it, and then have this set separately so you can get the fire parts, sell it for $30. I think that would be fair. But paying $60, almost $70 for this is not, there's not enough value here. So out of 10 stars, I'm going to give this one like a 6. It's not bad. If you are a fan of Jay Decker, then I would say pick it up. But if you're not, this is an easy skip to me. There's just not enough value here. But that's what I've got for the video. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.